Hey team, this is Whitney Proctor. It is August 2015 and I am going to record for you a quick training on how to track your expenses and also how to do some basic budgeting with commission income. This is a question I get all the time. So this is a Excel document template from another director, but this one I've used for a long time, so I've kind of created a blank of this and I've cleared out a lot of my information, so I'm just going to walk you through one example. So as you can see down here at the bottom of this, there's a profit tracker, an expenses tracker, and a commission budgeting tracker. So what we're going to do first is the profit tracker, So what you'll do is every time after you place an order, just get yourself in the habit of typing all this information in. It takes about 3 minutes. So I've gone to my order history for July. I'm just going to pull up an order and kind of walk you through how to do this. So once you open up the order, and it gives you the order summary, you're going to kind of bypass that for now and go straight to commission summary. And at the bottom here, it's going to give you this QV earned. That's your qualifying volume for this party. So I'm going to bring this over to my expenses tracker, and I'm going to write that number in right here, $1,094.25, same number. Okay, so I'm bringing it over here to my tracker. I'm typing that in. This box is automatically generating that. I'll show you how it works. You just type it in, hit enter, and it automatically calculates that amount. So this amount charged column, and there's directions over here breaking this all down. Column F is amount you personally charge to close a party or workshop. So how I find out that information is I return to the order summary, and this would be, everybody's given me cash and checks. I've put a lot of this order on personal credit cards, but this is the amount that I've put on my personal credit card. It's normally the last number. If you're going back and doing this through old orders, it's normally the last number. It's normally kind of an odd amount. So that is the amount that was charged to my personal card. The amount that was deposited in my account, over here, column G, amount of cash and checks you collected, bank deposit, and also the amount you collected via any kind of payment system, Square, PayPal, whatever. So the amount that I collected from checks and Square was $746.44. I charged $477 to my card, so I have an immediate profit up front. You could also call this column your upfront commission if you wanted. I made $269 today. There was no additional shipping. I didn't have to pay 2-day on it. I also didn't offer any discounts on this particular bundle. So my total profit for this party, let me just delete this so we're not confused. My total profit for this party, which is my combined upfront commission and my 20% that will be in my bonus check, is $488.07. Now let's say that I had a similar party, $194.25. I did not charge any on my personal card. I did not deposit any, and that all went through the system. It all went through. I charged all $1,094 to the system, and I didn't collect any of that credit card payment up front. Then my profit plus my 20%, so it's a little bit confusing how this lays that out, but basically you're just going to double this 20% and put this over here. There's really not a way to work that into this Excel sheet for them when everybody pays up front, because normally we always have some cash and check, but if you do that, just keep in mind that if you're a leader, you're going to double this 20%. If you're not a leader, then you'll just add in whatever your commission is. So if you sell 1,000 for the month, you'd add in a 5% column, or a 9% column, and you would just add that in there. So just kind of wanted to explain that because I get questions on that all the time. So again, how we found out this number of the amount deposited is from my checks or cash or Square deposits that were totaled up. So this gives you a good idea of how much total profit you're making for the month. It also gives you totals for the year. It's a really easy tracker to use. You could also do this for a tasting. It's the same concept. So the next section I'm going to show you is the expenses section. Again, I cleared all my stuff out, so I'm just kind of pulling up a blank here. So let's say that you spent some money on labels this month. You also had your website fee of $12.95. You also had to have some printing done at Office Max. That was $10. And your shared ingredients, you have your receipts from that for tax tracking purposes, or you put it all on one debit card. That's the easiest way to do it. then your shared ingredients fees will be, you know, let's say $25 for easy calculation. So this is just an easy way for you to, after you spend something on your business, to come in and plop it in here. So this is not categorized or broken down. You could definitely make this more complex if you wanted to, but for me, I just like to know kind of what my expenses were for that month so I can easily track what my take-home pay was. So that's where we kind of get into this next section, is the commission tracking and the budgeting, and that's really kind of the purpose of this training today, is to teach people how to budget with commission income. So for those of you that are not number people, I know you're getting a little glossy at this point, just hang on. So don't read ahead, just kind of follow with me. So this is your monthly commission budget tracker with WildTree. So let's say that you had, from checks, cash, or Square, or PayPal, however you collect payment, you collected about $500 this month. Your bonus check from WildTree is $1,128.73. You sold $35 of in-house stock, which is not going to show up on your bonus check because you already had that in stock. So your total income for the month is $1,600. Your consistent expenses with your business would be things like your newsletter and your website. If you order labels every month, if you have an assistant every month, etc. Those are all set expenses for our household, so that's what I have in this column. Again, this is an Excel sheet, so you can edit your consistent expenses to be whatever you would like. Your variable expenses are going to be things like babysitter, printing, shared ingredients. Again, depends on how many workshops you have in a month versus tastings. Any marketing materials, any promos you do for your reps or leaders, conference fee, conference travel, outside training, any special events. So what I've done here is this total take-home pay is your total income minus all of these expenses. So you can edit this column to be whatever you would like it to be, but this is your total take-home pay after all of your expenses. So then the next column here is your household expenses. I put this all together in one tracker because for us it just makes sense. So if it doesn't work for you this way, make it into two different sheets. But this is the simplest way for me to do it, and for my husband and I to kind of track what we're doing and what our paycheck is actually paying. So what I did is I used just a kind of a simple template from back when I very first started my business. I think this was my 3rd or 4th month as a leader. And so what I did is I came over here and in red italicized font, I highlighted the expenses I wanted my WildTree paycheck to pay for. So what I did is I put them in order of most important to us. So emergency savings is first, that's non-negotiable for us. Our giving account is next, and that's just 10% of this account is what we put in there. And then it just kind of broke down some of these other expenses. So I wanted my WildTree paycheck to pay for my internet, my cell phone, all the groceries for our house for the month, anything I personally ordered from WildTree for our own pantry. I wanted it to pay for our cash for our farmer's market, our car, and also whatever was left after those things. Those were the most important things to us in the beginning. I wanted to be able to put some into our children's college fund. So this total expenses column here is adding up everything that's over here already. So what you can do is you can look at this income minus expenses. This is all auto-calculated for you. And it says that this number, your total take-home pay, minus your expenses, there's $270.30 left. So that's what's going to get deposited into my children's college fund, so that my income minus expenses is $0. That doesn't mean I've spent everything I've made. Obviously, I've put $270 in savings here, I've put $150 in savings here, $140 in savings here, but every dollar is accounted for in my WildTree paycheck. So if you have a smaller paycheck, then just start with 1 or 2 of these categories. But it's a really easy way for you to track and also kind of be accountable for where your paycheck is going. And it's also a really great way for you to coach your new reps and say, you know, last month my paycheck paid for my internet bill, my cell phone bill, and all our groceries for our house. Or it paid for our internet, our cell phone, our mortgage, whatever else. As your business grows, then you can add more categories to this. And it's really cool as you start commission tracking for July and then you add an August tab, you'll start to see more of these things in red italicized font. It's very, very powerful example to see where your money goes. And then the last column over here is your debt, so any student loans, consumer credit cards, mortgage, etc. You can type in your monthly amount, your amount to pay off, and again subtract that from your income, and then any other savings you want your WildTree money to go to. So if you have a big trip you want to be saving for, you just come up here, click on the red, italicize it, and let's say you want to put $150 a month towards a big trip. then you would just start putting that in there and know that your account now has $1,000 in it, so you're getting a lot closer to that wish list of that trip to Hawaii or wherever you're going. So again, this is just a really easy way to kind of keep track of your budget and your expenses with your business. There are several different ways you can do this. This is just one very simple tool. But at the end of the year for tax season, having all of your household expenses on one place is a great thing to do because you can write off part of your home for your in-home office. So this is a really easy way for your accountant to look at exactly what your expenses were for that month, take a percentage of that, and he can calculate that. And again, with the expenses, if it's all written out very clearly, instead of having to dig through receipts, it's much easier to categorize those categories. And then again, same thing with your profit tracker. If you're able to see how much profit you were making up front, this is cash. This column basically represents your upfront 20% commission that is not calculated for in your Wild Tree paycheck. So you can report that for taxes as well. So this is kind of the end of this training. I'm going to post this document to our page and share this along with this video. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But just encourage you guys to really come in here to your commission tracking and really decide ahead of time what your Wild Tree paycheck is going to pay for, because it really is so rewarding and feels so good when you can say, look at all that I did this month with my paycheck. So anyways, hope you have a great day and have fun tracking your income.